Have you ever replayed an argument in your head for hours, or felt your entire day ruined because of one text message? Here's what nobody tells you. The person who made you angry has already forgotten about it. But you're still carrying it. What if I told you there's a way to become completely unshakable, where insults bounce off you like rain off a roof? This is the story of a teacher who discovered the secret, and it changed everything. In a busy city, there lived a university professor named David. Brilliant mind, respected career, but he had one weakness that was destroying him from the inside. He took everything personally. A student questioned his teaching, he'd be upset for days. A colleague got promoted instead of him, he couldn't sleep. Someone cut him off in traffic, his whole morning was ruined. His wife Sarah noticed it first. David, you're letting everyone control your emotions, you're not free. But David didn't see it that way. He thought, I have standards, I have self-respect. If I don't react, people will walk all over me. He had no idea he was actually a prisoner. One semester, David had a student named Marcus. Marcus was always late, never prepared, and constantly challenged David in class. One day, in front of 30 students, Marcus said, Professor, maybe if you explain things better, we'd actually understand. The classroom went silent. David's face turned red. His hands trembled. He wanted to throw Marcus out of class. He wanted to humiliate him back. But instead, he took a deep breath and said coldly, See me after class. That night, David couldn't eat, couldn't focus. His mind kept replaying the moment over and over. How dare he disrespect me like that, in front of everyone? He felt the anger burning in his chest like hot coal. Sarah watched him pace back and forth. Finally, she said, David, you need to talk to someone. This anger is eating you alive. David snapped, I'm not angry, I'm just frustrated that people don't respect me. But deep down, he knew she was right. He was exhausted, tired of being triggered by everyone, tired of giving people power over his peace. The next morning, David went for a walk to clear his head. He passed by a small park where an elderly man sat on a bench, feeding pigeons. Something about the man's calm presence made David stop. The old man looked up and smiled. You look troubled, young man, heavy mind. David hesitated, then sat down. How did you know? The old man chuckled. I can see it in your shoulders. You're carrying something that doesn't belong to you. David frowned. What do you mean? The old man picked up a small stone and handed it to David. Hold this. David held it. Now, said the old man, imagine you hold that stone for 1 minute. Is it heavy? David shook his head. Not really. What if you hold it for 1 hour? David thought. My hand would start to hurt. The old man nodded. And if you hold it for 1 day, 1 week, David understood, it would feel unbearable. The old man smiled. The weight of the stone never changes, but the longer you hold it, the heavier it feels. That's what you're doing with your anger. The insult happened once, but you've been holding it for days. You're choosing to carry it. David sat in silence. Those words hit him like a wave. He realized he'd been holding onto every insult, every criticism, every slight for years, and they were crushing him. But David said, if I just let it go, doesn't that mean they win? That what they did was okay? The old man shook his head gently. Letting go doesn't mean what they did was right. It means you refuse to let their actions control your inner peace. When you react, you give them power. When you let go, you take your power back. He continued, tell me, when someone throws garbage at your house, do you pick it up and bring it inside? David laughed. Of course not. Exactly, said the old man. So why do you pick up emotional garbage and carry it in your heart? David felt something shift inside him. For the first time in years, he saw clearly. Every angry reaction, every sleepless night, every moment of resentment, he had chosen them all. Not consciously, but by refusing to let go. So how do I stop? David asked. The old man smiled. Every time someone tries to disturb you, ask yourself 3 questions. First, will this matter in 5 years? Second, is this person's opinion truly important to me? Third, am I going to let them rent space in my head for free? Most of the time, the old man said, you'll realize the answer is no, and in that moment, you'll feel the weight lift. David thanked the old man and walked home feeling lighter than he had in years. The next week, Marcus was late to class again. He made another sarcastic comment, but this time, David didn't feel the familiar burn of anger. Instead, he paused, smiled calmly, and said, "Marcus, I hope you find what you're looking for. Now let's continue with today's lesson." Marcus looked confused. The other students were shocked. David didn't engage, didn't argue, didn't take the bait, and for the first time, David felt free. After class, a student approached him. "Professor, how did you stay so calm? If someone talked to me like that, I'd lose it." David smiled. "I used to lose it too. Then I realized something. When you react, you're letting someone else write your story. But when you respond with peace, you stay in control." That evening, Sarah noticed the change immediately. "You seem different, lighter." David hugged her. "I finally understand. All this time, I thought standing up for myself meant getting angry, but real strength is staying peaceful when everyone else is losing control." Weeks turned into months. David practiced his new mindset every single day. When a driver honked at him aggressively, he smiled and waved. When a colleague made a snide remark, he responded with kindness. When someone tried to provoke him online, he simply didn't reply. At first, it felt unnatural. His old habits screamed at him to fight back, to defend himself, to prove he was right. But each time he chose peace, the voice got quieter, and he got stronger. One day, Marcus came to his office. "Professor, can I talk to you?" David nodded. Marcus sat down, looking uncomfortable. "I want to apologize. I was dealing with a lot at home, and I took it out on you. You didn't deserve that." David smiled warmly. "I appreciate that, Marcus, but I already let it go weeks ago. I hope things are better for you now." Marcus looked surprised. "You're not mad?" David shook his head. "Being mad would only hurt me, not you. I choose peace instead." Marcus left the office with tears in his eyes, and David realized something profound. When you stop reacting, people start reflecting. Years passed. David became known not for his brilliance, but for his unshakable calm. Students would ask him, "Professor, how do you never get angry?" He'd always say the same thing. "I used to think anger was strength, that reacting meant I had self-respect. But I learned the truth. Anyone can get angry. That's easy. But staying calm when you have every reason to explode, that's real power." He'd continue, "The world will always test you. People will insult you, betray you, disappoint you. But here's the secret. They can only disturb your peace if you open the door and invite them in." One evening, David returned to the park where he first met the old man. The bench was empty, but David sat there anyway, feeding the pigeons just like the old man once did. A young woman sat down beside him, looking stressed. "You seem peaceful," she said. "How do you do it? Everyone makes me so angry." David smiled and picked up a small stone. "Here, hold this for me." She held it confused. David said, "The weight of that stone never changes, but if you hold it long enough, it will feel unbearable. That's what you're doing with your anger. The question is, are you ready to put it down?" The woman's eyes filled with tears. She understood. David stood up and said gently, "When you're ready to let go, you'll discover something amazing. Peace was always there, waiting for you. You just had to stop holding onto everything else." He walked away, leaving her with the stone in her hand. And just like David years ago, she would have to make the choice herself. Because here's the ultimate truth. You cannot control what people say or do, but you can control whether you pick up the stone or walk away. You can control whether you react or respond. You can control whether you give your peace away or guard it like treasure. The next time someone tries to make you angry, remember this. They're offering you poison. You don't have to drink it. They're throwing stones at you. You don't have to catch them. Real freedom isn't getting revenge. It's not needing to. Real strength isn't proving you're right. It's being at peace even when others think you're wrong. So ask yourself, how much longer will you carry stones that aren't yours? How many more days will you let other people control your emotions? How much more energy will you waste on people who don't even think about you? The moment you decide to let go is the moment you become free, not someday, not when people change, not when you get an apology. Right now, this moment, you can choose peace. And when you do, you'll finally understand what the old man knew all along. The heaviest thing you carry isn't your responsibilities or your problems. It's the weight of reactions you refuse to release. Put down the stone, walk away from the argument in your head, let go of the need to be right, and watch how light your life becomes. If this story opened your eyes to something you needed to hear, don't keep it to yourself. Share it with someone who's carrying too much. Subscribe for more stories that don't just inspire you, they set you free. Because the world needs more people who have learned the secret. You can't control the storm, but you can control whether it gets inside your heart.